For all the Kansas City Chiefs fans, you may want to pay special close attention to this interview because we have a special guest in the building. We have former LSU Tiger, 12-year NFL veteran, Super Bowl 43 winner, Pro Bowl safety in 2011, ESPN analyst, and host of the Pivot podcast. We have Ryan Clark, better known as RC, in the building. How is it going, Mr. Clark?
It's going well. You shorted me a year though. I played 13 now. You
Oh,
can't. Hey,
excuse me. I
yeah,
apologize. 13-year NFL veteran. I
yeah. Now,
apologize.
I'm doing well, man. Doing well here in New York. Fanatics Fest is this weekend, so we got some work to do here with the pivot. Should be a super cool deal. I get an opportunity to interview Jeter, Robert Kraft, Gronk, Dana White, Roger Goodell. So I'm excited about this weekend, but also really cool to have an opportunity to talk to a fellow fraternity brother, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you for joining me. And out of the bond of fraternity, I appreciate it. Thank you for sitting down with me. We're going to obviously talk about the Chiefs here for all the Kansas City Chiefs fans here in St. Joe. And this is home of training camp for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm.
But RC, the first question I just want to ask to just get started off with is a lot of people want to know how these athletes kind of transition into the world of journalism. So for you, how was that transition into becoming an ESPN analyst from being a player?
I think it's a lot different. It's obviously not as much a production-based business. You can't really correlate your play or what you do on air to statistics, right? To wins and losses. So I think that was a difficult part for me. But I graduated from the LSU Manship School of Mass Communications. I interned at ESPN while I played. I had a contract as an active player. I was the first active football player to actually have a TV contract. It was a different time and a different day. I was always preparing for this. I had a TV show in Pittsburgh. I had a weekly radio show, and nothing can prepare you for doing the job, like doing the job. But I think the transition was easy. It allowed me to stay close to the sport, and I wasn't one of those players that had this long layoff in between retirement and finding another passion or another reason to get up and try to be successful and accomplish things.
Now, RC, we know you rep the Steelers, so you gotta be careful what you say about the Chiefs here. You know, this is
Nah, I tell
Chiefs.
the truth. I tell the truth.
So, RC, I just want to kind of get your initial thoughts just on how kind of the Chiefs kind of organically built a team, basically now what most people would consider a dynasty. Just to
Yeah.
start off with, just kind of how you thought the Chiefs have been able to do that throughout the years.
I think one thing, they have one of the greatest coaches of all time. If you look at Andy Reid's track record, not only with the Kansas City Chiefs, but with the Philadelphia Eagles, consistently having competitive teams, going to multiple NFC championships, appearing in a Super Bowl where they lost to the New England Patriots. Andy Reid understands how to build a program and an organization, and the success that they had prior to Patrick Mahomes. And then when you get a generational talent like a Patrick Mahomes, and you have him paired with the Travis Kelsey, who's probably the best pass catching tight end of all time. Now it's about finding ways to build around that core group of individuals and continue to win. And I think part of it is what Steve Spagnuolo has been able to do on the defensive side of the football. This is a man who's probably the best big game defensive coordinator of his era. And so have all those things in one building at one time, I think that's just a perfect mix for an opportunity for a success. But it's also the execution of the players in the most important moments. How many times have we seen Patrick Mahomes step up? I actually talked to L'Jarius Sneed recently. Think about his huge play on Zay Flowers, the Chris Jones pressure against the San Francisco 49ers in overtime. Time after time, they've had big time players make big time plays in the most important football moments. And I think that's the way you build a dynasty, especially when you have the sort of leadership and consistency of an Andy Reid.
And RC, you just talked about Patrick Mahomes being a generational talent. A lot of people know that he is, but from your perspective, you played in probably one of the best quarterback eras of all time. Your Brady's, Manning's, Breeze, Rivers, the list goes on, and how many people you played against.
Yeah.
Who do you kind of rank Patrick Mahomes amongst the greats there?
I think Patrick Mahomes is the best player we've ever seen play the position. He's just not yet the greatest because his story isn't fully written. I used to give that distinction to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers when we played them in the Super Bowl, and we weren't bad that day. We were still the number one defense in the NFL, but he made throw after throw that only Aaron Rodgers could make. And I thought at that time, I had never really seen a talent like that at the position, ability to create plays with his legs as well. I believe Patrick has taken that a step above where it was with Aaron, and now you're adding the greatness of the three Super Bowls, of the three Super Bowl MVPs. You're adding the greatness of the two MVPs during the regular season, the consecutive AFC championship run. I just think we haven't seen a player start his career in the way Patrick Mahomes has, both individually and team and organizational success. I think there's still a ton to be written. You know, Tom Brady went 10 years and a part of his career without winning a Super Bowl. So nothing says that Patrick Mahomes has to win three more, but he's off to an extremely fast start. And I think right now you include him in those conversations with the Joe Montanas and the Tom Brady's as some of the greatest to have ever played this game.
Yeah, RC, as the Chiefs, everybody knows they're back-to-back Super Bowl champs, looking to three-peat. For yourself, this is going to be a two-part question. For yourself, there's a lot of things that people don't get to see the ins and outs, the practices, just everything that goes into winning a Super Bowl. So the first part of this question is how hard is it just to win the Super Bowl in a
Yeah.
season? And then how hard is the aftermath of trying to repeat that championship and then have everybody gaining for what you accomplished in the year before?
Yeah, I think we make it a little bit too nuanced. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. Dan Marino doesn't have a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers only has one Super Bowl and one Super Bowl appearance. Drew Brees only has one Super Bowl appearance. It's difficult to win one. So it makes sense that it's harder to repeat because it's just so damn hard to get there in the first place. And I think to have that level of consistency when you do have longer seasons, think about the amount of time that this team has played beyond what other teams has played. They played later into the year than any other team because they continuously end up in the Super Bowl. Now you have the off season of celebration. You have later surgeries and rehabs and recoveries, right? So you don't get the sort of off season time that these other teams get. You don't get that opportunity to prepare in the same way. And all of those things make it extremely difficult to be your best self year after year after year. And so I think that's a testament to the Kansas City Chiefs and what they have inside that building from a leadership level. But the other piece of it is too, man, like to continue to take everyone's best shot all the time, to consistently have to answer the call, even though you reached a mountaintop. You would think that the other teams are more hungry to get what you already have and to continue to fend off the Josh Allens and the Lamar Jacksons. Now the CJ Strouds will enter that conversation, the Joe Burrows, obviously, who have actually beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's just a momentous and uh, truly great accomplishment by the Kansas City Chiefs.
And RC, I know you're busy, so I only got two more questions here for you. Now, as somebody who played on the defensive side, which I consider to be, especially during your time, one of the best as well, not only for quarterbacks, but also for some of the hardest hitting people, Troy Polamalu's, Ed
Yeah.
Reed's, Ray Lewis's, Sean Taylor's, and the list goes on, and just like for quarterbacks as well. What are just kind of your overall thoughts about the NFL and kind of where they're standing at now? Because a lot of people, obviously, the no fun league is a big kind of meme going around, and a lot of people have their opinions. But as somebody who's played in pretty much one of the hardest hitting generations, what's kind of your opinion on where the NFL stands now?
I mean, obviously, I think it's soft, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not my father's NFL. It's not my NFL, but it's an NFL where people sign up to see Patrick Mahomes. So you're not going to continue to put him in positions where he could be injured. You know what it looks like when you have to see the backup quarterback the entire year instead of the starter. You know that people want to see Justin Jefferson on the field. People want to see Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. So those guys shouldn't be taking unnecessary hits to the shoulder, neck, and head area. And so I think all of those things are smart in trying to make the game safer, but trying to keep the best players on the field. And I think that other piece of that is the salary cap continues to rise. And it's the same way if you're driving a Pinto that ain't worth but $10 and you driving a Lamborghini that's worth a half a billy, you're gonna drive those cars differently. You're gonna treat them in a different manner. That Pinto may never get washed. That Lamborghini gonna stay waxed, right? And so I think that's all part of it, and it plays into the product we see on TV. We want to see a good product. We want to see the best players, the players whose jerseys are in the stands. We want to see those players on the field. So I understand the direction that the game is going, even if I don't always love it for the defensive players.
Now, RC, my last question for you here is obviously there's going to be a lot of kids that are probably going to tune into this and that are going to be inspiring journalists like yourself or want to be at your level later in their life. Is there anything, advice that you could just probably give to some young journalists that are out there?
I think the first thing is do the work. As I mentioned early on, you can't get better at this job without doing the job, without going out and making the mistakes and falling on your face every now and then, being a little bit embarrassed about how much work you actually need to put in order to improve. I think people saw some things in me early on in my career as a football player. And when I listen to those things or I see those things, I think to myself, I can't believe I was that awful or I can't believe I was that bad. So I think it's one about just continue to do the work, continue to be very self-aware and honest with yourself about how you need to grow and talk about and do things you're passionate about. Um, you can't always be forced into this box, right? Believe what you can do, know what you can do, and work to prove that you can do it to others. And I think other than that, man, have fun, right? Like people who pick journalism don't pick journalism because they just don't want to be a contractor. They pick journalism because they enjoy doing it, because it brings them a level of joy. That joy should be seen in what you write. That joy should be seen in what you say. That joy should be seen in what you edit. And I think if you can display that to people and people can feel that when you do your job, you can be extremely successful.
All right, RC, well, I appreciate you taking the time out, talking some football, talking Chiefs with me, and just letting everybody know just a little bit how you think about the upcoming season here. So we
Yeah.
appreciate your time, appreciate everything. And I just want to do something real quick because I saw an interview here and I just want you to react to what I'm going to say here, okay? I saw this in an interview. I'm going to say one word, I'm going to see what comes to your mind here, okay?
Okay.
Achievement.
Achieving, bro. So you letting out the secrets on air, right? That's what you doing.
Not,
That's what you
not
doing.
on
Hey,
air.
hey. So you out here, letting dig secrets out for other folks, huh?
No, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave. I just wanted to see what your reaction was gonna be.
Man, it's so crazy. You know, I crossed the sands, man, in '01, and it's so cool to see the young kids and the neos and many brothers that are young in the bond succeed, and to have an opportunity to show other people who are outside of what we do that there's a reason we go through what we go through, we sacrifice what we sacrifice, and we call it a brotherhood, and this is part of it, right? To have an opportunity to help our brothers and be a part of their achievement, their journey. So I appreciate you giving me the time.
Appreciate it. Well, you guys can find RC, ESPN, First Take, Get Up, RCDC, everywhere. The Pivot Podcast. RC,
Yeah.
once again, we appreciate you for coming out and thank you for having the time to interview with me. I appreciate it so much.
My man, every field of human endeavor.
Yes, sir. Thank you.